What's going on, everybody? Cleopus Tech here, coming back at you with another video. In this video, I'm going to be giving you some beginner tips and tricks for the Samsung Galaxy A14 4G to help you get more familiar with the device. Now, as always, if you do end up wanting to learn more about this phone, definitely check out the description, where I am linking to several other videos about it, as well as some information about pricing, availability, and some of my favorite smartphone accessories. But with that being said, let's get into it. So to start off, let's take a look at the sound menu. Now, you can technically get to this from the settings, but an easier way to do it is by pressing either volume key, so like this. Then from here, go to these dots. And from here, hit the settings right here. This is going to take you to the volume section, where of course you can see all the different system volumes. So ringtone, media, notifications, system, and as you can see right here, by default, the volume keys will control the media volume. From here, if you hit this back button, this is going to take us to the main sound menu. So as you can see up top, by default you'll be in sound mode, but you can also use vibrate or mute, really based on personal preference. And if you want it to vibrate while also making sound, you can do that too. Under this, you can change your ringtone. So if we go here, we got the default, a bunch of different presets. And if you want to add your own ringtone, you can hit the plus button right here. Under this, we got the notification sound, which is pretty much the same thing. So if you go here, again, basically the same thing. Then there's system sound. So pretty straightforward. We got the volume, and then several different sounds you can turn on and off. These bottom four will be on by default, but of course, you can set them however you want. Under this, we got volume, which is where we were just at. Call vibration, so you can change the pattern of your vibration. Vibration intensity, and then finally, we got separate app sound. So if you want to set different volumes for different apps, this allows you to do that. Now I'm going to show you how to manage your notifications. As you get more apps, you will of course also get more notifications, and while some can be useful, some maybe not so much, so I'm going to show you how to manage them. To do this, what you're going to do is go to settings. From here, go to notifications. Then from here, go to app notifications. This menu right here is going to show you all the apps on your phone, so if you want to turn notifications off for something, simply toggle it off. And that's pretty much it. The next thing I'm going to show you is a quick way to customize your home screen. So for this, all you have to do is press and hold your finger on a blank spot on your home screen, but make sure not to hit an app or a widget. That's going to do this, which is not quite what you want. So again, press and hold your finger for just a second on a blank spot. So like this. This is going to show up, and from here, you can change your wallpaper, customize your theme, add and remove widgets, and access some additional home screen settings. So definitely useful, especially when you're setting up your phone for the first time. Now, while we're on this menu, the next thing I'm going to show you is how to hide an app. Now, to do this, what you're going to do is go to the settings right here. From here, go to where it says hide apps on home screen. Then from here, it's going to show you pretty much all the apps on your phone. So I'm going to hide the calculator. When you're done, hit done. And now if we go back to the home screen, the calculator is nowhere to be found. So definitely a useful feature if you want to get rid of apps like the Galaxy Store, for example, that you can't actually delete, but you might want to get them out of the way. And then if you ever want to unhide something, go back to that same menu. So again, press and hold your finger on a blank spot. So like this. Then from here, go to settings. Then from here, go to hide apps on home and app screens. And keep in mind, everything you have hidden is going to be right up here at the top. So pretty convenient. All you have to do is tap on the icon, hit done. And now if we go back to the home screen, the calculator is going to be back. So right here. But keep in mind, if you hide an app that's already on your home screen and then you unhide it, it's not going to come back to the home screen, but it will be in your app drawer. So if you want to put it back there, you will have to put it back yourself. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to change your screen lock. Now by default, the screen lock is basically going to be a pin, which is pretty much the industry standard. And I also have the fingerprint scanner on, so pretty convenient when it actually works. But we do have a few different options here. So to get to these, go to settings. From here, go to security. So right here. Then from here, hit the drop down for lock screen. And then finally from here, go to screen lock. It's going to ask for your current PIN. And once you put that in, you'll be able to choose between PIN, password, pattern, swipe, or none. Now, swipe and none are, as you can see, pretty much no security. The only difference between the two is that with none, there's pretty much no lock screen at all. Whereas with swipe, there's at least sort of a screensaver. But honestly, there's not really too much of a difference between the two. Pattern is more of a old school kind of Android look. Password, of course, is really high security. And then PIN is, again, pretty much the standard. In addition to this, if you want to use Face Unlock or the fingerprint scanner, you can enable them right here. But keep in mind, to actually set them up for the first time, there is an additional step. So if we go back to the main security menu, from here, go to fingerprints, enter your current PIN one more time. And then from here, this is where you can add fingerprints. And if you want to use the face unlock, go back to the main security menu one more time. Then from here, go to biometrics. So right here. And then from this menu, you can set up face unlock right here. Now I'm going to show you how to change your screen timeout time. So if you're in a situation where maybe you're reading, for example, and you want to make sure your screen stays on the whole time, you might want to set it a bit longer, or maybe the opposite. Maybe you're not really doing a ton with your phone and you just want to make sure it doesn't stay on and drain your battery. Either way, to change your screen timeout time, what you're going to do is go to settings. From here, go to display. So right here. And then from this menu, scroll down to screen timeout time. So right here. And as you can see, you can set it as short as 15 seconds or as long as 30 minutes. And of course, depending on what you're doing with your phone, it is going to be different for everyone. I personally don't recommend having it super long unless you really need to. I only have it like this for these videos, because if you don't need it to be super long, then of course, if you forget to turn off your display or maybe you accidentally bump it or something, it's just going to stay on and drain your battery, which of course you're not going to want. But definitely play around with it and decide which one works best for you. Now I'm going to show you how to change your system navigation. Now by default, as you can see down here, we have the typical 3 buttons you usually find with an Android phone, but we do have another option here. So to change this, go back to settings. From here, go to display once more. And then from this menu, go to where it says navigation bar. So right here. And from here, we have a few different options. So first things first, you can change the order of the buttons. By default, recent apps is on the left and the back button is on the right, but you can switch them around. From here, we can also go to swipe gestures. So if we do this, instead of 3 buttons at the bottom, it's going to be replaced with this one line, which doesn't really actually do anything. But if you've never used gesture navigation yourself, let me show you how it works. So when you're in gesture navigation, to go home, swipe up like this. To go to your recent apps, drag your finger partially up. And to go back, swipe from either side. Then from here, under swipe gestures, if you go to more options, we also got another option called swipe from bottom. So if we go here, this is basically like a hybrid between gesture navigation and button navigation. So with this, we got 3 lines at the bottom, so basically just like buttons. To go home, swipe on the middle, so like this. To go to your recent apps, use the left bar right here. And then finally to go back, swipe on the right. Now I'm going to show you a feature called adaptive brightness. Now, as you can see, I currently have my brightness at 100% right now. I personally like it like this, but the downside is, if you're on 100% brightness at all times, especially when you don't need it that bright, it can drain the battery. So with adaptive brightness, it basically adjusts the brightness of your display based on your environment. So if you're like outside in the sun, for example, it's going to make things brighter, of course, so you can actually see the display. But if you're in like a dark room, it's going to dim things because, of course, if you're in the dark, you don't need it to be quite as bright. So for this feature, go to settings. From here, go to display. And then from here, adaptive brightness is right here. Toggle it on. And as you can see, it adjusted right away. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to take a screenshot. Now this is a real simple feature, so with this phone to take a screenshot, what you're going to do is press the power key and the volume down key at the same time. And keep in mind you don't actually have to hold the buttons, just press them quickly like this. And that's pretty much it. You can share, edit, whatever you want to do. So yeah, again, definitely a real simple feature. And then finally, the last thing we're going to go over is how to edit your quick menu. Now, in case you don't know, to get to the quick menu in the first place, swipe down twice from the top. So 1, 2, and there we go. A bunch of different features here. But if you ever want to edit this menu, all you have to do is hit the plus right here. And this is basically everything on your menu. And this is everything you can add. To add something, press and hold. Drag it on here. And that's pretty much it. To remove something, do the same thing. Then when you're done, you can hit done. And if you want to reset it back to the default, hit reset, and that's pretty much it. But this concludes my beginner's guide to the Samsung Galaxy A14 4G. Again, if you do want to learn more about this phone, definitely check out the description, where I am linking to several other videos about it, as well as some information about pricing, availability, and some of my favorite smartphone accessories. But that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it and found it useful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to follow Kalipis Tech on Twitter and Instagram. And as always, I will see you in the next video.